Peace, everybody. Hotep.
Hotep.
Welcome back, brothers of Move Productions, in conjunction with the Universal Zulu Nation. Today I bring forth Brother Phil Valentine. He's back in New York. Let's give him a round of applause. Before we get started, I got a couple of announcements to make. The Brothers of Move Production, in conjunction with the House of Consciousness, present a 2-day conference of high science for the people. And this will be a 2-day conference. And on day 1, Saturday, November the 18th, we'll be having keynote speakers, Brother Alim Bey, Brother A.A. Rashid, and Brother Cypher. And that'll be on day 1. That's November 18th on Saturday. That's day 1. Day 2 will be November 19th. That's a Sunday. The keynote speakers will be Brother Azazel Bey, Brother Hakeem Bey, and Sister Roz, and also Professor Griff of Public Enemy. That'll be on day 2. So in November, mark your calendars because we'll be having a special 2-day event, which will be in conjunction with the House of Consciousness and Brother Sinetta, who's up on 125th Street. And before we bring on Phil Valentine, who's going to get into an elaborate lecture today, you know, he has one of his very elaborate titles. I'm not going to attempt to make that mistake in Mercury retrograde of putting his elaborate title out there. But before he comes on, we have a very special brother who, if I'm not mistaken, was one of Phil Valentine's teachers at a particular time. And he's actually going to be giving a very special presentation and bringing Phil on. And that's Brother Kafre. Let's give it up for Brother Kafre.
Hotebu. Do you know that Hotep backwards means Ptah? The Kemites loved puns. The Kemet language, Meta-nature, is the only language that can go from left to right, right to left, up to down, and down to up. And the reason why Hotep is used because Hotep means peace, and Ptah indicates creation. So the theme is very obvious. There is no creation without peace. You're not going to build a pyramid 40 stories high, 10 blocks long, if you have no peace. That's why no one has done it yet, because there is no peace. I'm here mainly because of my brother. We go way back. We go 26 years back. He is Sanu Jehuti, Reverend Phil Valentine. When you address him as Sanu Jehuti, Reverend Phil Valentine, you are inducing the energy into him as Sanu, Doctor, Jehuti, the Supreme Doctor, the Supreme Theorist. When we meet, we say Nizrak to each other. When I see him, I say Nizrak, Jehuti. He sees me, he says Nizrak Aminah, or Nizrak Kafra. When he greets me that way and says Nejharak, it translates as homage to thee. But literally it means show thy face. So he is calling out the Necher or spirit in me, and I likewise call out the spirit in him. So when you address him as Sanu Jehuti, Reverend Phil Valentine, you are aiding him. That's how it worked back in Kemet. I see my sister there, I say Jai Lakshmi, Linda Kareem. Now I'm calling out Lakshmi into her. How you doing, Joe? What does that do? You're invoking an English system into your brother. But when you call out that deity, or even Assalamu alaikum, you are invoking an energy in that person Today we are going to invoke Jehuti into Sanut Jehuti, Reverend Phil Valentine. Today we are awarding him the leopard sash. Only the high priest wears the leopard sash. I am the him the chair tepi. Im Sem Shu Amen Ra. I am the high priest of the followers of Amen Ra. From the Het Nacher Seshini Hechanub, from the temple of the white and gold lotus. I've been serving my Lord Amen Ra for 26 years. My wife, Nana Happy Hetaru, is the Hemet. Add the T, feminize it. Add the T, feminize it. She's the Hemet Nacher Hetaru, the high priestess of Hetaru. Between us, we got 4 college degrees. I used to dorm here at LIU many years ago. I used to work at 18th as a plant manager. But the Neteru said, leave. The Neteru said, move into an abandoned building at 361 Jefferson Avenue and set up a shrine to us. My parents thought I was nuts. They said, are you crazy, boy? There's less than 2% black engineers in this country. And you not only got an engineering degree, when you graduated, you went right into management. Right into management from college for AT&T. And then you quit. And I living with crackheads? Yes. But I'm happy to say, 26 years later, when my father finally picked up my book, he finally got it. And he said, where's my book? That's what it's all about. I've been talking to some of you before we started today. And I told you that I'm not really a good lecturer. I am mainly a demonstrator. I'll leave the lecturing to the master here. Yes, he's carrying an Ankh. We award him the Ankh on June 19th, 2005. And now we're awarding him the honorary high priest. Why? Because he's doing the work. He's not just dressing up. He does the work. He begins his lectures with an Izrak. Anuk Datirnet, Anuk. Where did that come from? That first phrase, and Nezharak, homage to thee, or show thy face, or, according to Sanut Riketti, my Meta Sebu, my teacher, she says, and Nezharak could also mean, I seek your counsel. That came from the Put-N-Ru, the book of coming by day. Misnamed the Egyptian book of the dead. Why do I say misnamed?